Hey guys, come on downstairs. We are going to go over a quick fan bases update. If you haven't already, join a fan base. And before I get into our update, I just want to go over the series features here so you can make sense of what the first couple of weeks were. The regular season in NCAA Football 14 is broken into 15 different weeks. So for every single one of those 15 weeks, we're going to have a week preview. For every week that Cal State Fullerton has a game, we're going to have a game day episode where we play the game, of course. And for every week that Cal State Fullerton has a game, we'll do a Helmet Stickers episode, which will be us going over individual statistics and seeing how each of our players are doing, as well as giving out some shout-outs and whatnot for players that have made great plays during the game, or some critiques for players that didn't make good plays during the game. And then our fourth and final episode for each of the 15 weeks will be a scores and highlights episode where we'll do scores and highlights from around the country. So those will be all 15 weeks. We'll have those episodes. The weeks that we don't play games, we'll just have a week preview that will likely be really short, and a scores and highlights episode of all the games from that week. So, and that's why I want you guys to pick a team, because during those scores and highlights episodes and the week preview episodes, you're going to be able to follow that team more closely. So the first episode in each week is the week preview. That one is actually it might not be as exciting as the other episodes, but it is probably the most important episode that you can watch, because it will help bring you some context that will help you enjoy all the other episodes, because we're going to go over top 25s, we're going to go over conference standings, we're going to go over, your team in more detail in those episodes. Now, when those 15 weeks are over during the regular season, college football has the conference championship games. And not every single conference has a conference championship, but those that do, you will see highlights of all of the games that are played during that conference championship week. And then we go into our bowl season where, guys, if your team makes a bowl game, you're going to see highlights of that game because you have a lot riding on that bowl game, and we'll get to that in just a second. But I did do highlights of all 33 bowl games in bowl season for season number 1. So yeah, it took a lot of time and a lot of effort to put this together. So I hope you guys jump into it and help me out with subbing and following along and liking my videos and just helping increase momentum for this project. And then the national championship will be a condensed game where we'll have every single play of the national championship. So let's quickly go over how you guys win. So you guys by now have picked a team that you're going to follow throughout the season. Presumably it's your favorite team. It doesn't have to be. You can choose anybody you want. But the way that you're going to win is, if your team wins a conference championship, all of the fans of that team's fan base will go into a drawing. And B, if your team wins a bowl game, all of the fans from that team's fan base will go into a drawing, and we're going to hold that drawing after the national championship game. I decided in this first season we're not going to make the national championship game any different than just any other bowl game. If your team wins the national championship, you're going to go into a drawing just like every team that wins a bowl game. That way it evens the playing field, and not everybody's choosing Ohio State or Clemson or the big name schools, all the blue bloods. You're choosing your favorite team because they have a chance to win a bowl game, and you can win that way. So let's get into our fan base update number 2. We have one school that has 3 fans in its fan base right now, and that is Ohio State. Altogether, we have 50 people that have joined fan bases. So 3 from Ohio State. The following schools have 2 in their fan base: Minnesota, West Virginia, Nebraska, Michigan, Texas, South Carolina, and NIU. NIU actually is on our schedule a little bit later in the Cal State Fullerton season. I'm starting to lose my voice, guys. I apologize. Starting to get sick or something. I don't know what's going on. But So those are the schools that have 2. Now let's go over all the schools that have 1 fan. There's quite a few of them here. We've got Wisconsin, Cincinnati, Cal, Kansas State, Rutgers, Maryland, Toledo, Southern Cal, South Carolina. South Carolina actually had 2. Southern Cal, Florida, Tennessee, Memphis, Boston College, Florida State, Notre Dame, Georgia, Colorado State, UNLV, Arizona State, Missouri, Tulsa, Oklahoma State, Nevada, Ball State, Syracuse, Oklahoma State, Oregon, Miami, Clemson, New Mexico State, UTEP, and San Diego State. So some of those schools actually are on the Cal State Fullerton schedule. So it's going to be interesting when we get to that. Maybe you guys will be cheering against Cal State Fullerton in those games. We play New Mexico State, which is actually our next game coming up. We'll have the week preview for that one shortly. We actually play Nevada later in the season. We play UTEP later in the season. And we play California later in the season. We've already played Florida. So that'll be interesting. Maybe you guys will be cheering against Cal State Fullerton in those games because your teams need wins to become bowl eligible. So, and going back to the 4 episodes that we'll have in every single week of the college football season, the week preview, the game day, the helmet stickers episode, and then the scores and highlights. Just a side note, when we get into season number 2, we'll be joining a conference, and that will add a 5th episode, which will be like scores and highlights from around the conference that we join. So there, in season number 2, there will be 5 episodes per week. So before I lose my voice completely, I'm going to sign off here. Guys, if you haven't yet, there's still time to join a fan base. We're only 1 game into this for most teams. Some teams have played 2. Most teams have only played 1. So get on this episode in the comments of this. Throw out the team that you want to be following. I might keep this open until like week 4 or 5 of this first season, just so we can get more people. At that point, I might close it off for the first season drawing, but you can still sign up to cheer for teams in season number 2 throughout the remainder of this season. So we'll have another update as soon as we're going into week 3. As soon as all of the week 3 episodes are done, we'll have another update, and we'll probably continue to do that week by week. At the end of every single week, have an update with where our fan bases are standing, and I probably will start letting you know how many wins your schools have then too. I mean, you're going to see them in the week previews, but I might also add them in these updates just so people can see how things are going. Anyway, that's it. Please help me out. Jump on board, sub, like my videos, share them if you can in groups on Facebook, on wherever you're in groups that involve NCAA Football 14, and help get the word out, and hopefully we can get more and more people to join fan bases, and hopefully this thing will pick up a little bit of steam, and it'll be more fun for everybody if it does. So that's it for this quick little episode. My voice is completely shot and gone, but we'll get our week preview for week number 3. It's our week that we play New Mexico State here on Mama's Basement Sports Gaming.